We steal other people's material. But he started talking about this guy, Horatio Spafford. And Horatio was a very successful businessman living in Chicago in the year 1870. And he had a 4-year-old son and 4 daughters. And sadly, that year, his 4-year-old son caught scarlet fever and he died. And it was devastating. This was a man of faith, and it crushed him and his wife, but they soldiered through and they kept their faith strong and they continued to love God. The following year, there was the Chicago fire, which burned a large part of the city to the ground. Among the buildings were his office, several buildings he owned, and his own residence, all gone, lost it all. And still, he regrouped and said, we have a lot to be thankful for, and he had great faith. 2 years later, he decided, let's go over to England and see if we could start something over there. At the last minute, he had a little business deal he had to take care of, so he put his wife and 4 daughters on one of those big, massive ships to do a transatlantic crossing to England. And in the middle of the night, in the North Atlantic, the ship struck another boat, and it sank in 12 minutes. And his wife was found unconscious floating on a piece of wood. And when she arrived in Wales, she telegraphed him back home and said, "Saved alone. The 4 daughters perished." And she said, "What shall I do?" And he said, "Wait for me, I'm coming." And he packed up and got on the next ship he could get on, and he made his way across the Atlantic. And when he was passing over the spot where the first boat had sank, the captain stopped the ship and called Horatio up to the captain's quarters and said, "Sir, this is where your daughters perished. I just thought you'd want to have a moment." And what did he do? He prayed. Can you imagine the turmoil of this man's life? He loses his son, he loses his home, his business, he loses all his 4 daughters. And he prayed. And he went up to his room and he wrote a poem which became a song. And that song says, "When peace like a river attendeth my way, when sorrows like sea billows roll, whatever my lot, thou hast taught me to say, it is well with my soul."